Oh hey, welcome to another edition. Hand-laid tracks and 3D printed trains with Socrates. Today we're taking a look at a bridge. I made a bridge. Got a gap back there. Second layout. When I make a bridge. This is actually the second version of it. So this is on the bamboo. The other version was on the CR10 in single color. But with the bamboo, got some grout work in there. Little stones. The tops pull off. These are a 4-piece. There's 2 separate pieces for the top. The bridge itself is in 3 pieces. And the top screws on, so you have access to all your wiring. And the top half basically screws together as a unit. And then you have all your wiring there as well. So you can wire your tracks on here. Mess with your wiring if you need to. These just pull off, but I don't feel like pulling them off. The 3 pieces all screw together with these little supports, holds everything in. The tracks themselves, I have them screwing in. These are of course all my handmade tracks, but they have some bolts in there to screw the tracks on. Keeps everything permanently aligned. In this case I have a turnout with a servo bedded into it as well. Like I say, everything goes in. Off the main side of the tracks where all the power is coming from, I've got your power lines going through it. 2 power lines going through it for the tracks. And the main bus on the other turnout of the other layout. 2 power lines for all the servos on the other layout. There's a single green for the frog for this turnout, and then passing out the other side are your 4 power lines, 2 for tracks, 2 for the servos, and your Arduinos. At the top screws on with 6 relatively long bolts. I have to measure them, but they're countersunk. That way it's flush up. You can put stuff on top of it. Unfortunately, there's also the 2 bolts here for the terminal switch, because that had to be held in as well. At the top, let you do maintenance. Get on the wiring nice and easy. Any problems, easy to fix this way. And you can make it with endless numbers of pieces. If you can make this end piece just a 3 straights, you can make an endlessly long bridge if that's what you want to do. And the bottom is just, in this case, 3 pieces. So you've got your standardized end middle piece and standard ends. Like I said, I cut those off manually. I'll make them shorter in the design. I wasn't sure if I wanted it to hump in, but it's better if it just slides in, because otherwise you got to pick things up. And so I just cut them off. I figured I could. But like I say, the Japanese pin slips in there, holds everything in place. There's 2 more pieces that are mounted on the side of the layout, right down there. Right down there. And this slips into it. The Japanese pin holds it in place. And then first you put the top on before you put the whole thing in place. But you can see the bottom's nice and simple. Leaves the space open for everything. A couple more support pieces to hold everything in place, because these are individual pieces made to fit the bamboo, so it fits a 25 bed. Like I say, I did it with multicolor. You don't really have to, but it looks better with multicolor. Bunch of different screw holes for a bunch of different screws. Holds all together. It's pretty stiff, pretty sturdy. Came out pretty good. Just shorten these legs a little bit here to make it slip on and off. But other than that, it's got like a Japanese pin system to hold it in place. Just slips in, pins will holds it snug, and there you go. So this is me replacing the bridge where it had a turnout piece. I replaced it with a triple track. First thing I had to do was remove the trestle bridge. And it's basically the same procedure for both the bridges. I have the rail joiners. You kind of push them back onto the track. I use a little tweezer and a screwdriver to keep it from going too far when you're putting them back on. But taking them off is easy, just put them one way. And the trestle bridge, the second bridge I built, and that's made with magnets. It's held on with a bunch of 6 by 3 M52 magnets, N52 magnets. I always get them mixed up. And they just sort of holds it on, and it pops off. It has only wires on one side. It basically has the track power going, because it's basically just a simple straight piece of track. So popping off the track wires on the one side, and then the trestle bridge comes off. And that exposes the main bridge in the back. And I use on the main bridge a set of what I call the Japanese pin system, and a lot of great Japanese woodworking and one of the things is the sliding pins that hold things together. And so what I did with that is I used the pins to keep the main bridge on. You can see that with those are the magnets that hold the other pretzel bridge on. But the pins slide in. I use a flat screwdriver to pull them back out. There's one pin on each side, and it should go in pretty easily and come out pretty easily, assuming it's lined up. And you can see that's the pin on the other side coming out. And then the bridge itself is free. It pops vertically up, but then you have to sort of push the two sides of the two different layouts apart because it's joined two separate layouts. And once again, the rail joiners have to come off as well because they're holding the tracks together. But once joiners are off, it's essentially loose. Now this one has wires on both ends because I basically have the main layout on the left side is connecting to the powers, and then the power just goes through the bridge to power the right layout. That way everything's just connected on a single set of wires. They don't really intend to run the right layout by itself by any means. The left one has an internal loop, but that's all about to disappear because I'm now going to run a double track main line, and this one has the two one-way directions and one of the two reversing coming in the back. But through the bridge there's two lines. There's the 12 volt track main power, and there's also a 5 volt, which one's your Arduinos and the servos, and they come in from the left, and one set goes all the way through to power the other tracks, and the other set stays inside the bridge to power the bridge itself. And originally this one had a turnout, but I'm removing the turnout completely, and with the turnout it had a frog wire as well. But with the bridge out, I could then start taking it apart, and the whole bridge has the top section with the track is all a removable piece, so you can work on the track and the wires all by itself and not have to deal with the bottom section of the bridge itself. And everything's basically screwed in with either, some of them are I have hex Phillip heads, and some of them are M3 bolts. And the railings just pull in on the side, they're just plugged in. And then you have to, the tracks, I have them screwed in. You can use, I built, basically it's my own hand-built jigs, and I have the jigs available on the straight track on Colts. It's another one of my files, so you can get the jigs and build your own straight tracks. I'm not sure how you do it in other ways, but that's how I did it. And the ties are included in the bridge that have the proper spacing for the bolts and for the wire holes, because there's also wire holes going down into it. And so this is still me just disassembling it. I pulled off the wires from the back. I had to pull off some of the screws from the back, and then take again the rail joiners for the different rails all had to come off, and this way I could take out the turnout piece and the slightly curved piece on the other track. And once that was all done, I could go ahead and keep, I'm still doing the breaking down part. Happy I didn't cut myself just then. But once again, this is all apart. It's easy enough to take the pieces apart because nothing's really attached. It's all screwed on, and once you just sort of unscrew it, it comes apart fairly easily. Assuming you get all the rail joiners off. And now it's essentially loose. You can go ahead and continue to pull all these things apart. It's a lot easier when you put it together in one proper piece. Like I'm sort of half taking it apart, half at the same time, or half not at the same time. It makes it a little bit harder. But once you get the rail joiners off, it's essentially loose. The wires, I run feeder wires from all of my pieces. I find it easier to make sure that there's good connection, but also because I don't use anything to hold the track down to the layout. It's not glued in any way, shape, or form. It's only attached with the feeder wires. So that keeps all my tracks attached, which is good because I've changed it many times so far. And I have just the feeder wires for the turnouts, and then also the frog has to come out as well. But then there's also the other two pieces, because I have to remove those three pieces and the extra piece from the middle as well. And this is the thrill of slowly removing pieces. Just like that, you slide it out. One piece out, have to take out the other piece. These are the moments I think, should I have cut this down? But people ask me to show how the things are done, so this way you can see it's all being done. That's the extra curved piece in the middle track as well. the middle piece doesn't get changed, just that one piece of track gets changed. And then the turnouts in the ties, they're sort of marked because they're not exactly all the same, because that one is slightly different than the other two that are on the bottom. And what I'm replacing on the right, where the whole panel gets replaced, that existing piece doesn't get changed, but I had to make everything fit and make it all fit around the terminal strip. And you have to make sure that your whites and your yellows and your reds and blacks are in the correct order. And in this case, I put these on backwards, and I'm going to figure it out once I get the piece on there, because it has the screws and the wire holes, and the screws didn't line up with the wire holes. And I said, well, something seems to be wrong, and it's because I had the wires on the wrong side. It's pretty easy, just hit it with a soldering iron, pop the wires off, and put them on the reversed ones, and you're good to go. And the way, when you put this together in the first place, it's a little easier and a little more obvious, but when you're taking it apart, it kind of comes apart stranger. I have to take out the terminal strip, which is attached to the panel that I'm replacing, and then the two middle sections, they're sort of the connecting pieces that connect the sides to the middle are basically unique because I built them for the purpose. But again, the middle section should all be identical, and you should be able to make an unlimited length bridge if you choose to. But you just have to pop those different screws that hold the one section off, and the rest of the bridge stays exactly the same. And I already pre-printed that half, or that third should I say. And you can see I still had the one more piece to take out of there, because I have to replace that piece. That one just gets transferred from the one side to the other. And you can see the tracks themselves are just screwed into the board. It's an M3 bolt. It's a flush head M3 bolt, not M3. Well, yeah, M3, but it's a Phillips head, and it just screws the rails onto the board. It's worked fine so far. The rails going nicely, and everything seems to line up just fine. So, but then once you get that one off, then I can replace the third piece and go ahead and work towards getting this whole project done. So then I got the other piece in, and trying to replace the boards or getting it all lined up with it loose did not work as well. So eventually what I'll end up doing is I'll take the boards, the whole top panel, over to the bench and work on it upside down. And you had to loosen up. When you first put it together, if you put together the three panels, it all works very easy, because then you can then add the tracks to it and make sure they all fit. But I try to sort of reattach the panel and the tracks. It didn't really work out, so I had to loosen all the tracks up and then put the panels together and then put it all back together, and then it worked out fine. And you can see I've got all the new triple track is installed. Make sure your wires are all out of the way, and it goes together with again the same long bolts. You know, if anything, it's overbuilt for strength, but it holds together well, and then it's, you know, once it's together, it's done. And and again, the whole thing just sort of slides together and slips into position, wiring in the side of the tracks. 12-volt mains and 5 volts for the DC, and I use yellow and red and black for the 12 volts, and in this case I use a sort of a gray and a purple for the 5 volts, so I can tell the two different systems easily visually apart, and then attach again the main side leading into it. That way the bridge itself has power, and power goes to the two different layouts themselves. You know, it fits together. It's not something I'd want to take apart and put together constantly. I certainly wouldn't want to use it on a drawbridge type of thing, or door entry or something like that. But it was only designed to go together and go together solidly as possible. As I mentioned a couple times, that little Japanese pin thing, when it's lined up, it should slide right in, and then you know it's lined up correctly. And then slide the whole two layouts together to get everything to fit back together, and then push it in, and again it locks in. And if it's not locked in, if it's not lined up, that pin won't want to go in properly, but if it is lined up correctly, the pin will go in. You can test it when you start printing it out, and you'll see that it lines up pretty well. And then I have just the side bumpers, or the side guards, the railings just kind of snap in. You got to go back and do all the rail joiners they're fun to put back on. Sometimes it works perfectly, but that's one of the things that I really learned. You really want to use a screwdriver on the other side. Whatever you're pushing it with, you want to have a blocker on the other side, because you can finally get it to go, and it goes whoop, and it goes all the way to the other side, then you have to go back again, and that's really frustrating. So you want to block it with something. You can use a wood stick or something, so that when it goes, it only can go as far as the stick, hopefully, and that'll slip past the stick, which is very frustrating as well. The magnetic bridge kind of fits back together a bit easier. It's also a bit of a simpler bridge, all things considered, to put together. It only has the one track for one thing. But when you get it in position, you're very close to it, the magnet's pretty much snapping into place. And then you got to do more rail joiners and get out your tweezers and your screws again and get the thing to fit just right. But it has a nice, satisfying snap into position. And then in theory, you've got your whole thing set back together, hooked your wires back up, and you've switched from a turnout based bridge to a triple track, and then you can go ahead and start doing more design work to finish the rest of the tracks up. So that's a 60 centimeter wide or long, 3-lane with turnout bridge, 3D printed, bamboo. Get it on Cults. Buy yourself a bridge, build a bridge, and you'll have a bridge. Like I said, you can make it endlessly long. This was Hanley Tracks. Got a bridge, I got a bridge. It's Hanley Tracks. Now I gotta finish installing a bridge. Bridge!